Welcome back to another podcast, guys. I'm Greer White. This is Hunt and Harvest Podcast, and today I'll be telling you how I was able to quit my job and farm and make YouTube videos and do this full time. And I'm not only just making this for you, I'm making it for me. I want it to be like a testimonial to the process of how this has worked for me. There's so many factors and aspects at play here that have allowed me to the opportunity to do this. And I'm gonna go over them with you, and maybe you can apply them to whether you want to quit your job and start farming, or if you want to start a business or follow some entrepreneurial path. Maybe this thought process or my journey, the documentation of my journey will help you. So a few things I want to go over on my ability to do this. It's actually only been 4 weeks, I think, since I quit my job. And I have, I'm able to do this for several reasons. I've been thinking about it for years now, like at least 2 years. I had been thinking, how can I quit my job to pursue my passion, which is peach farming, YouTube. Well, actually, it wasn't even YouTube in the beginning. Someone convinced me that I'm pursuing these passions or these dreams. Why wouldn't I film it and document the process? Not only is that super awesome for you, but someone out there is going to learn or be entertained by your process and want to see how it all came about. So here I am, 24-year-old peach farmer, 250 peach trees, no job, completely unemployed, scrounging, trying to do side hustles and sell peaches and make money and trying to make things work to the point where I can be successful. And it just seems a little far-fetched when you say it out loud. Oh, how's he going to peach farm his way to success? That's a little crazy. But, you kind of can't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to anything. Maybe you can, but I think you kind of have to diversify and find a niche, find a way to provide to the public, to consumers, a way to fall in love with you, a way to fall in love with your products. And for me, I'm trying to pursue peach farming and sell peaches, and I want to create quality produce for consumers and quality products, and I want to serve my community in that way, and I want to provide for my family in that way. And the way that I have been thinking about this and figured out what I want to do in life and how I want to go about it, that led me to quit my job, was literally just spending those 2 years thinking about what I want my life to look like, what I want from this. And even still, after 2 years of constantly thinking about the peach farming, which also add to that the YouTube and social media aspect, thinking about that constantly for basically 2 years, about how I want it to go, what I want it to look like. It's still taken me, I still find myself thinking about, trying to form my words here, about how I can make this happen at all. It just seems so far-fetched. Even talking to you in front of the camera about it seems crazy, but I quit my job at the oil company to do this, and I'm able to do it and farm and try these things, because shoot, man, it's so hard to articulate this. It's God-given. Not only do I feel like the purpose and the calling is God-given, the ability to even attempt it is God-given. I have this land because my family allows me to farm it. And it's not a ton of land. And peach farming is very risky, and not often do people succeed in tree fruit farming, especially like small growers and hobby growers. Like I'm sure you or somebody has a fruit or nut tree of some type in their backyard and is like, what the heck, I can't get this thing to grow, or I always lose my peaches or whatever to this. Like and then the late frost and freezes in spring, and you lose all your crop. You know, farming is a difficult endeavor, and I'm able to do it because of my family, because of God, because of God first, because of my family, because I thought about it for so long about how I want my life to look. I saved as much money as I could. I mean, you know, I like to say that, but I mean, I saved a bunch. I tried to save a ton, and I did, and I've got no debts, praise God. And my mom helped me with you know, they paid for my college, and my mom paid off some of the student debt I had, and it was just like, it's a God-given thing. Like, I am privileged to do this, and I'm being as brutally honest with you as I can be, that, you know, I also have very low expenses. I live on my family's property, renting from my mom and dad for $1,000 a month. I mean, that is full transparency to you guys. I am trying to be as wide open as I can to let you know that, yes, I am privileged with this ability, but I don't really have any money, and it's all up to, like, to really speak of. So my investments have been years in the making, and lots of sweat equity, lots of work, lots of time, lots of labor, lots of tears and concern and doubt and fear. And regardless of this privilege and ability, it's up to me to make this work, you know? It's up to me to make this business possible. And I've been doing side hustles. I'm grateful to have work from a family friend of ours and some other people that have, you know, let me cut their lawns and weed whack and blow off their driveways, and, like, you know, I do like a little, it's like landscape. It's a little bit of a lawn service, and I'm just fortunate enough to have this little side hustle, and, you know, to be selling peaches this year already. Not necessarily of my own. I have some on my trees, but the oldest trees I have peach-wise are, you know, in their second growing season. So your full crop isn't, you know, a mature peach tree isn't going to be maturing, or a peach tree is not going to be mature until about probably the fourth year. The third year you can expect a crop, from what I'm told, you know, if all things go well. And this year things are not going well because there's a massive drought. So I'm going to get into more of that. I want to use this podcast to not only do the testimony to the process and the documentation of it, but I also want to recap what's been going on in my life, what's been working, how I've been doing this. So with the quitting of the job, I have been scrounging with the lawns and, you know, trying to make money wherever I can, and keeping up with the social media and the YouTube and the Facebook, getting paid a little bit from social media, very, very minimal amount. It's, you know, it's all helpful, and budgeting, and trying to, I don't buy things, I buy food. You know, I try not to buy stuff, and, you know, being frugal as I can, it really does help. And you have to do these things if you want to start farming or start your entrepreneurial goals, start a business, whatever. You have to do these things. You have to think about what you want. You have to save. You have to plan. You have to try to, you know, minimize your costs. And I wrote a bunch of stuff I was gonna say. Yeah, you have to scrounge. You have to do the side hustles. You have to do whatever you can, and you have to learn what to give up. Every yes is a no to something you care about. And so when you're saying yes to another hobby, or saying yes to buying something, or you're saying yes to spending your time helping somebody do this, and I'm not saying don't help people. It's good to help people and spend time, you know, but so you can't give up all your time. You have to start cutting things that don't matter as much to your end game, your goals. And there is no real end game, but you're never going to have the growth that you desire, I think, without, you know, managing your time wisely and saying yes to the right things and no to the right things. And otherwise you're going to be stuck doing too many things at once, and you're going to have diluted results because you're diluted attention. You know, I basically have two things I'm focusing on right now. It's the farm, Like, I'm talking entrepreneurial wise. I'm not talking about my religion or my family or my wife. I'm saying entrepreneurial related. I have two things that I'm focused on. It's my business, GNC Peaches, and it's my YouTube, social media stuff. They coincide together because I'm documenting the business and the process of me becoming this person and working hard to achieve these things. And the business aspiration, I'm starting to see as I've made some sales from wholesale peaches, from farmers that I've met at the Peach Growers Association. I'm so grateful to them. I'm buying peaches from them and selling them here, and I'm in a really good market for this as well. I've had 1 week of selling peaches, really, and it went well. I made money. I have also sold tallow and some other products that I am working on, selling more of. I buy wholesale beef tallow and label it and sell it, and I'm getting into coffee, and I'm trying to bring together more produce to provide to my local community here. And then in the next year, hopefully I'll have peaches of my own, as well as peaches from other North Carolina farmers that I know and trust, and I'll be able to hopefully get this mobile trailer, or this trailer, like an enclosed trailer with a service window and a door and retrofitted for like air conditioning and cooling inside, and be able to serve people and make money, actual money, to fund my farm and fund my business endeavors. And I want to document the whole thing because there's no downside to giving this to you guys and to documenting it, because how many people on YouTube are out there being fully transparent about their struggles, their opportunities, their wins, their losses, recapping their journey. I mean, you always see the guy who's already got it. It's worked. How did you get 4.5 million subscribers? And you go through all their videos and you're like, yeah, I kind of see how they kind of look just like me in the beginning, and now they quality improvement of titles, thumbnails, packaging, video, whatever, editing, filming, whatever, you see it like marginally improve as you scroll away to the bottom and scroll all the way up, but you don't actually hear from them or see videos from them in their day of how'd they get there. You just see them now of, wow, look at this person. 5 million subscribers, thriving business, large family, good relationships, faith in God, and I didn't list those in matter of importance by no means. It's just you see the end result, and you could scroll through their page and you won't see, the most you'll see about how they did it is what it looked like when they started, not an update from them or a documentation from them of what they went through to get there. So that's why I'm making this video, and I'm going to keep making videos about what's working for me. And I'm going to use the podcast to do this, because the podcast is the format that I would deliver it to you anyway, is just me and the camera. So probably just keep that going with the Hunt and Harvest podcast. But now I feel like I had a conversation with somebody today that made me feel like it's my duty to give this to people, because if I don't, it's a disservice to someone out there that would gain something from it. They would gain a positive learning experience or be able to relate, whatever it is. I mean, it's a disservice for me not to make this video. And you have to, let me look at these other notes here real quick. Forgive me. Yeah. You have to do this, or I feel I have to do this because I feel like it's my purpose. I feel like it's part of my calling to make this work and to show you every step along the way how I made it work. So I'm going to give you guys some business aspirations here. I know I listed a few just a minute ago, but I have this idea for a coffee, peaches, beef tallow, basically all these artisan and produce goods that I love and believe in, and like homemade peach ice cream and cobblers and jarred peach halves and white grape juice and coffee beans and honey and all these things, whether it's my produce personally or something I have sourced, or it's a product that I've sourced and packaged, and turned into, like these beef tallow skin creams. I love them. I use them every day. So I want to find these products that are so awesome and amazing and helpful to people and healthy for people. And I know ice cream maybe in cobbler isn't the healthiest thing, but like they're delicious. But I want to add these things together and put them into and offer them to people. And I'm thinking about doing it in an enclosed trailer, like I mentioned, and selling it. You'll be able to serve out of it. You'll also be able to do self-serve. So you won't have to have a person in there year round. You'll be able to make money year round, or hopefully I'll be able to make money year round and provide these goods. And I have a really good location here, and I'm grateful to my neighbor who's allowing me to sell here. And I just think it's a really good idea, and I think it could actually succeed. And the reason I think it could succeed is because Wednesday I went and got some peaches for sale, brought them up here, sold them. I ran out. I started selling like Wednesday for 5-6 hours, Thursday for like 8 or 9 hours. I was out. I was out by end of day Thursday. Went and got more Friday and came back and basically sold out Saturday. I messed up with some refrigeration. I had my freezer too cold, and so they went bad. They went bad because I made the freezer way too cold. It's a learning experience, but got to keep a peach between 30 and 32 degrees if you're going to keep them, or higher, like 50. There's more information on that on the NC State Extension website, by the way, if you're looking for post-harvest handling of peaches. But I messed up. I didn't have the temperature gauge in there, and so I just had it on the coldest setting, and they got froze, and they get this mealy, gross texture. So I had some I had to toss out, but I basically sold out again Saturday, And had I not had my hiccups, it would have been perfect. And I did make money. And so like peach season's about 6 months long. I've already had people buy tallow from me. I've had people buy peaches. I'm going to have coffee this week. I'm out there with a tent and tables making sales and just talking to people. It was 100 degrees like 2 or 3 days this week. Horrible. Absolutely brutal. I didn't even have a fan. And I broke my tent the second day. I mean, it's just like, there's times where you're like, this is so brutal. What the heck am I doing? Why wouldn't I choose the comfortable choice and just stay with a steady paycheck and no thoughts, and anything that goes wrong is on someone else's dime? Then I circle back to like, well, this is mine. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to make what I want work. And yeah, there's going to be investments, there's going to be breakdowns, there's going to be costs. So you got to be prepared for that. And you gotta pivot and adapt and adjust. And it's been 1 week of those. I've dealt with troubleshooting. We all have dealt with troubleshooting and stuff our whole life. But like, it's interesting starting a business and trying things that you've never done before, and them working, and then parts of it going wrong. And I feel like you're rewarded as an entrepreneur for. It's like there's an insanity and suffering phase required for growth, and sacrificial stage required for growth and success, but also your consistency, your ingenuity, your creativity, and those things are rewarded. An investment. That was the last word I was looking for. Your ingenuity, your investment, your creativity, and your consistency are rewarded. Your investments in that are rewarded for. You're rewarded for that. I'm sorry for the speaking articulation problem. Getting better at podcasts, and hopefully by episode 100 you'll be like, wow, different talker now. But you're rewarded for that, and so I was already rewarded. And I'm still in the, not like, it just feels like a humongous blessing to already see a reward. The fact that I even made money. Like, I know, like, so many, there's like 3 steps of like a business, like that use like analysis, capital, execution. Like, I've already thought and done the numbers and added things up on like how, yeah, I can totally make money on this. And I've got the capital, I've saved up the capital, and like I execute. It was just so cool to have something in your head for so long and then execute it and see a real result, a positive result. I mean, that first day where I sold so many peaches, I sold so many. I mean, it was like God was just, here you go. Here you, like, yes, here's a sign that come back tomorrow. Because I have no signs, no advertisement, no nothing. I'm just at the end of my road. And I literally just post on social media where, like, family and friends can see that I'm doing it. People were just stopping. It's like, come back. God was like, come back tomorrow. And it's such a gift to see any type of success like that, because that night after I did that, I dreamt it was as if I was awake, but I was asleep, and I was having crazy dreams. My brain was on fire. I woke up remembering how my brain was on fire the whole night. I don't know. Comment below if you've made it this far into the podcast, that if you've had a feeling like that. It was like, because this is a small portion of my dream that I had achieved. I have only invested money for the past 2+ years. I've only invested money. I have never acquired money from an effort related to my business. I have side hustles and had my job. The lawns and my job and whatever I did for other people scrounging around. But the first time I saw success, that night my brain was on fire the whole night. In like a good way. And I feel so much personal growth from this journey of quitting my job and trying this, that it honestly makes the fear of quitting my job seem fake. So fake. Now, I can understand if you've got a family of 4 to feed, a mortgage, car payment, all this stuff, you're like, I can't leave, maybe I shouldn't, there's certain people and certain jobs that are amazing, and you shouldn't say, like, every person should quit their job. I just know that, like, from a statistic I heard from Dave Ramsey, 70% of Americans want to be self-employed, only 3% are. So I'm saying it in this format of the people who want to be and are not willing to take that leap. The fear is fake. And if you have made smart choices in life and I know that I've got a lot of luck and privilege here, but I also could have been in debt. I could have bought a house last year. I also could have gotten a car payment. I also could have gotten a new truck. I also could have done this and that and made horrible mistakes. So on one hand, it's privilege and God-given. In one hand, it's upbringing and smart decisions. So whatever anybody wants to say about me is fine. I love all comments, but I mean, you can do this. The fear is fake. The job it doesn't have to be your life if you don't want it to be. If you do, you love it, I'm not talking to you about that. Maybe there's a job out there for you that you will love, but the fear is fake. The doubt is fake. The uncertainty is fake. Life could end tomorrow. So spend your time like there is no tomorrow. I mean, I don't mean to seem dramatic on that, but like there isn't. Today could be my last day, and I think I had a great day, and I want to say that every day. And every day that you get to wake up is a great day. And the day's not even over. And if I died tomorrow, I don't feel complete or anything. I'm just saying, like, at least I died doing something that I wanted to do and something I felt passionate about. It's just a hurdle that you have to jump over, and you can't see the result till you jump over the whole hurdle because you've never been there before. Maybe it's always different. And what people say about when you leave something. Gosh, I really got to work on my articulation. Maybe I should write some more things down before I start the podcast. But anyways, you know how they always say having or you always want what you don't have. The entrepreneur wants a steady paycheck. The employee wants to be an entrepreneur. There are moments in the past month, especially these past couple weeks, especially this week, where moments of your day where I was like, this is crazy. What am I doing? Why would I choose this? Why would I want the uncomfortable choice? Well, there's so many more comfortable ways to make a living or just live your life on someone else's time and give some of your time to someone else's thing, and you have this much time to sleep and this much time to yourself, 1/3 sleep, 1/3 you, and 1/3 someone else. And I have to say, it's pretty easy to come back after those thoughts of like, should I be doing the comfortable thing and the soft thing and just not try to grow a business and not try to do what I want to be doing in life? And it's so easy to come back and be like, no, dude, no matter what, even though this is suffering and insanity and you're in like the sacrificial of time and doing everything yourself stage, beats the heck out of doing something you don't want to do. Because yeah, it's brutal sitting out in 100 degrees selling peaches with a tent and a table, or it's brutal hand watering 250 peach trees, or it's brutal having no water in the pond because you haven't had any rain. Everyone else around you is getting rain, but you're not getting rain. What else is there to do but do the thing that you care about? So do anything in your power to make that happen, because I haven't felt a sense of trying to articulate this. Ever since I quit my job, I haven't felt a sense of, or I feel a sense of ownership in my life that I did not have when I had it. It was literally, like the kid who's, maybe you're the kid that feared going to school when you were little. You literally, you would not get on that bus. Or when you get there, because you knew you were going to be forced to be on the bus, you'd leave. You'd just leave, and they'd freaking send a search party out, or the vice principal would be chasing you down to the other high school. It's actually one of my friends, Crew Mahoney. He has a similar story to me so much. It's so funny how different we are and how similar our stories are. But anyways, you're that kid who doesn't want to go to school. So you just don't go, or you just leave. I mean, that was how I felt about my job, even though the job was good and the people were good and the bosses were good and the owner was amazing and everybody's amazing. Everything's good. But still, Sunday night would come around and I'd be like, here we go again. And you'd be rushing Monday morning. Yeah, I'll wake up at 5 and I'd still do my routine and rush and I'd get there late and it's just like, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, oh, like how can you as a man be controlled by another man? I can't even believe I let myself do that. Even though it was a great opportunity and I grew from it, I still feel like, how did I do that? for 2 years, 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years. Like, they were so good to me, and it was such a good opportunity, but also it was like, it's not related to what I want to do at all. And I chose it. It's all, it's not, it's no one's fault but my own, but it also, would have been one of the biggest mistakes of my life to stay there or any other job, because it's not my thing. It's not who I am. And if it's not you, then don't do it. Claw and connive and scrounge your way out of it. If you're stuck and you're so far deep into a hole of debt, you got to get out of that. So that way you cannot be beholden to anybody. So that way you can make leaps, you can make choices, you can make choices of your own and not be stuck. Do it before it's too late. Find a way, because I'm finding a way. And you're watching me find a way right now. If you're watching any of my YouTube, my long form content, my live streams, I'm trying to live stream the farm stand. I'm going to turn this tent and table into a profitable business that revenues significant amount of money. I know that I can do it just from one freaking trailer. And you're going to start small, and I'm going to grow, and then I'm going to replicate, and I'm going to expand, and I'm going to have my own, I'm going to have more peaches here than I can handle, basically. Just from 250 trees. I mean, each tree can produce 3 to 5 bushels per year. I mean, that's a lot of bushels of peaches. I mean, that's $115,000 worth of peaches here in this market. And I mean, I'm going to make this work. I am going to make this work, and I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to document it via the podcast, via the YouTube long form, via live streams, via weekly recaps. This kind of thing is going to be a regular thing for me. Podcast weekly. I'm going to try to upload long form weekly. I'm going to try to upload more shorts and try to, give glimpses into different pieces of my life. So please subscribe, please like, please comment, please follow me on Spotify, and share this with your friends. And if you live in Orange County or in the Triangle area of North Carolina, be on the lookout for G&C peaches, because I will be out there selling peaches during peach season all summer, and I'm going to be getting more and more products available to you guys in person and online. And I'm very much looking forward to giving you guys this high quality produce and these high quality products that I love and believe in, because they're great and they're going to make your life better, and it's going to make all the difference in the world. So if you're out there thinking about quitting your job to farm, to make YouTube videos, to do whatever entrepreneurial task, you may have clicked on this video to become a farmer or to become some sort of business owner or whatever, you have to think outside the box. You have to do creative things. You have to be ingenuity. You have to adapt. You have to have ingenuity. There we go. I think that as I go along in this coming months, I'm learning at a rate faster than ever before now that I have left my job. Splitting your time with someone else is really difficult. So if you've got the means, do it. If you don't have the means and you want it, then you better find the means. I think anyone can do it, whether you've got the situation like me or not. There is no barrier that can't be overcome. I mean, I know I'm privileged, but I also have no money. But not being in debt is a huge win. So just think about that and how you can get out of that and get onto your farm or your entrepreneurial goals. Get after it. Don't waste. Sorry for my articulation not being optimal. I am working on the podcast thing. I think it's an embarrassment ritual a little bit, but it's also super enjoyable for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Appreciate y'all.